Howdy, folks. Today we're looking at Marvel Classics Comics number 12 from 1976, featuring The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas. Comic book adaptations of classic literature have been a staple of the medium all the way back to 1941, which saw the premiere of Classic Comics, the brainchild of publisher Albert Cantor, that first issue of which was, incidentally, also an adaptation of Dumas' famous Musketeers. The Classic Comics initiative proved a success, with the line changing its name in 1947 to the more familiar Classics Illustrated, the branding that would stick until the series' demise in 1969. Classics Illustrated was a standard of mid-century newsstands, and the brand's absence did not go unnoted. 1970 saw the arrival on the scene of Vincent Fago, a cartoonist and editor who came of age at Timely Comics during the 1940s, where he holds the distinction of serving as the outfit's editor-in-chief during the period of Stan Lee's military service in World War II. Fago contracted with Pendulum Press to create a new line of comic book adaptations of classic literature, for sale primarily to the educational market. Fago probably hooked up with Nestor Redondo, a Filipino cartoonist just then looking to break into the American market. Fago flew to the Philippines and met a host of artists unknown in America, a talented group who would become the vanguard of the vaunted Filipino invasion. Folks like Redondo, Rudy Nebres, Sonny Trinidad, and the artist of today's specimen, the great Alex Niño. While producing new material for Pendulum across the 1970s, Fago subsequently cut another deal, allowing the company's older adaptations to be repackaged by Marvel Comics, which led finally to the premiere at the tail end of 1975 of the first issue of Marvel Classics Comics. That should also explain why, outside the dynamic cover by Gil Kane, this issue looks so very much unlike any other Marvel comic on the stands. Between the short expository dialogue and the typeset lettering, this was clearly a format developed for educational buyers, designed not to quicken the pulse but to be readable and teachable. The first year of Marvel's series saw print essentially unchanged from Fago's Pendulum Press editions. The credit for adaptation here goes to Naunerle Farr, Fago's brother-in-law, to give you an idea of the kind of outfit Fago ran. Definitely a comic shop of the old school, by which I mean underpaid artistic talent working alongside whichever family members could be roped in, material repackaged for different audiences as many times as humanly possible. Apparently the book sold well enough for Marvel, even given the rather stilted format, for them to take the production in-house after the first year. Today's specimen rather makes a mess of Dumas' famous tale of swashbuckling daring-do, I'm afraid. The Three Musketeers is an enormous book strung along on a series of cliffhangers, meant to be read and absorbed as a serial, compressed into a single 52-page narrative which boils the plot down to a staccato series of events. The story appears arbitrary and goofy, with the outsized personalities of the famous central trio of Athos, Porthos, and Aramis reduced precipitously by the bland recitation of historical provenance. Missing almost entirely is Dumas' central animating antagonism against the evils of the ancient regime.